Have you ever stood in a room feeling like you're invisible, watching as others catch her eye, laugh at her jokes, and leave you wondering what you're missing? What if I told you that the secret to turning that around is hidden in just 3 simple rules? Today, I'm going to share the Seduction Blueprint, the 3 rules every man must know if he wants to capture her attention and keep her thinking about you long after you've left the room. Right now, you might be asking, why do I always seem to be left out? Or, what am I doing wrong? You're not alone. Many men face the same struggle, the fear of being forgotten or seen as just another guy. And the truth is, if you ignore these 3 rules, you run the risk of watching opportunity after opportunity slip right through your fingers. Over the next few minutes, I promise to break it down for you in simple terms, no fancy language or complicated ideas. Just clear, straightforward steps that work. And I warn you, if you miss even one of these, you might be missing out on a life full of exciting magnetic connections. So stay with me, because what comes next could change your entire approach to attraction. The first rule is all about managing your presence. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding that being always available can actually work against you. Think about it. If you're constantly reachable, always ready to answer your phone or drop everything when she calls, you send a message that your time isn't valuable. And trust me, she's smart enough to notice. Imagine you're watching a movie and the hero is there only when things are easy. When the stakes get higher, he disappears, and that's what builds intrigue. In the same way, by not always being on her radar, you create a space that makes her wonder, and more importantly, crave your presence. Here's a simple tip. When she reaches out, take your time to respond. It doesn't mean you're ignoring her. It just means you are busy living your life. Show her that you have interests, goals, and a schedule that is full of things you enjoy. This makes you look more attractive because it tells her, I have a life that is worth being a part of. I know it might feel risky at first. You may worry that she'll lose interest. But here's the truth. Women are drawn to men who have a full, independent life. If you let her see that you're not chasing her every minute, she'll see you as someone worth waiting for. And just imagine the power of leaving her wanting more, rather than having everything handed to her on a silver platter. In just a moment, I'm going to share a real-life example of a man who transformed his dating life by simply mastering the art of being selectively available. Stay tuned, because his story might just be the push you need. Now let's talk about the second rule, develop your own life. This rule goes hand in hand with the first. It's not enough to just be less available. You must have your own passions and pursuits. When you focus on your hobbies, work, or even a new skill, you send a clear message that you are self-sufficient and driven. Think back to the last time you met someone who was really interesting. Chances are they had stories to tell, a spark in their eyes and a passion that shone through. That energy comes from having a life that's rich and full. And it's not just about impressing her, it's about making sure you're growing and living your best life. Let's be honest, if you spend all your time thinking about her, you run the risk of becoming a shadow of your true self. Instead, invest in yourself. Join a club, start a new project, or even learn something new. When you do, you become a magnet for success. People are naturally drawn to those who are engaged and excited about life. Here's a practical exercise. Pick one activity that you've always wanted to try, or a goal you've been putting off. Set aside time in your week to dive into that passion. It could be anything, from learning to cook a new dish to taking a dance class. The point is to show that you are more than just waiting around for her attention. You have a full, dynamic life of your own. And here's where the real magic happens. As you build your own life, you begin to notice changes. You feel more confident, you become more interesting, and when you share your experiences, you spark curiosity. She'll wonder about the stories behind your adventures, and that curiosity builds a deep, magnetic pull. But here's a secret that not many talk about. There's one key habit within this rule that can either make or break your progress. In just a minute, I'll reveal what that habit is and why it's so important for your transformation. Now let's move to the third and final rule. Control the pace of communication. This rule is about the way you interact with her. It's simple. Don't always be the first to text or call. Let her take the lead sometimes. When you control the pace, you create a balance that leaves her wanting more. Imagine you're in a conversation where one person is doing all the talking. Eventually, the other person stops caring because the conversation feels one-sided. The same principle applies in dating. If you're always the one initiating, you risk coming across as too eager. But if you let her show interest and then respond at your own pace, you build a sense of mystery. Here's how you do it. When she texts, don't rush to reply immediately. Take a few moments, enough to show that you have other things to focus on. When you do reply, keep your messages thoughtful, but not overly long. This gives her space to wonder about you, and in turn, she'll be more eager to hear from you. I know it can feel counterintuitive at first, especially if you're used to constant communication. But believe me when I say that a little bit of space can ignite a powerful desire. It's like the slow burn of a fire. It takes time, but the result is a warmth that can't be put out. And here's an important point. Controlling the pace isn't about playing hard to get in a manipulative way. It's about setting a healthy rhythm in your interactions. It shows that you respect both your time and hers. When she sees that you're not desperate for every response, she'll start to value your communication even more. Just imagine the shift in her behavior when she realizes that you're not always available. In a moment, I'll share a simple technique that can help you master this pacing and turn it into a tool for lasting attraction. Now that we've covered the 3 rules, let's take a moment to understand why these simple ideas pack such a strong punch. It all comes down to human nature. We are wired to appreciate value and to be drawn to what feels rare and genuine. When you manage your availability, you're essentially saying, I value my time. And when you have your own life, you show that you are not dependent on someone else for your happiness. And by controlling the pace of communication, you create a natural ebb and flow that keeps things exciting. Think of it like a dance. When both partners have space to move, the dance becomes graceful and exciting. But if one person is too eager or too rigid, the dance falls apart. In dating, these 3 rules help you find that perfect rhythm. They create an environment where desire can grow naturally, without feeling forced or fake. Imagine the feeling of being with someone who has a rich, fulfilling life. You're drawn to their energy, their passion, and their sense of mystery. And that's exactly what happens when you follow these rules. You become the person who stands out in a crowd, the one who makes an impact without even trying too hard. Let me share a couple of stories to bring these rules to life. First, meet John. John used to text everyone back right away. He thought that quick responses meant he cared. But over time, he noticed that people started to take him for granted. When John decided to slow down, letting his messages have a natural rhythm, he saw a change. His friends and even new acquaintances began to appreciate the space he provided. They started reaching out more, wanting to hear his thoughts instead of him always being available. John's world changed because he learned that managing his availability was key to being seen as valuable. Then there's Mark. Mark was always busy. He had hobbies, a great job, and a circle of friends. But he struggled in dating because he would sometimes come off as too detached. Once he met a woman who was intrigued by his busy lifestyle. Instead of trying to fill every moment of communication, Mark learned to control the pace. He made sure to respond thoughtfully but never rushed. That balance created a natural desire on her part. She knew he had a life, and she wanted to be part of it, just for a piece of time. Mark's transformation wasn't dramatic overnight, but over time, he built a magnetic aura that drew the right kind of attention. These stories show that the rules aren't just theory, they work in real life. And the best part is, you can start applying them today. Now you might be wondering, how do I start? Here are a few practical tips to help you put these rules into action immediately. 1. Set a response. Time. Next time you get a text or a call, decide on a response time. It might be 15 minutes or even 30 minutes, depending on your schedule. This helps you build the habit of not being too available. 2. Schedule your day. Fill your day with activities that you enjoy. Whether it's working out, reading, or spending time with friends, make sure you have a schedule that keeps you busy. This not only boosts your own confidence, but also shows others that you have a life worth living. 3. Practice mindful communication. When you're talking or texting, focus on quality over quantity. Respond thoughtfully and don't feel pressured to fill every gap with words. Sometimes silence speaks volumes. 4. Be genuine. Remember, these rules aren't about manipulation. They are about showing your real value. Be honest in your interactions. Let your words match your actions, and always be yourself. 5. Reflect on your progress. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, did I manage my availability well today? Did I take time for myself? Small steps add up, and keeping track will help you see your growth. I know that changing your habits can be tough. It's normal to worry that by not replying immediately, you might lose her interest, or that by focusing on your own life, you might seem distant. But here's the harsh truth. If you continue with old habits, you risk blending into the background while others capture the spotlight. Fear of missing out is real, and it can stop you from making the changes you need. But ask yourself, what's worse? Being desperate and always available, or building an aura that makes her wonder about you every time you're not around? The answer is clear. You might face moments when you're tempted to break the rules. Maybe you see a message and feel the urge to reply immediately. Or maybe you're worried that she'll think you're not interested. In those moments, remind yourself that you are in control. You set the pace, and the more you stick to these habits, the more natural they will become. I'm about to share one more secret, a bonus tip that ties all these rules together and makes them even more effective. It's something many successful men swear by. Stay tuned, because this tip might just be the game changer you've been waiting for. Here's the bonus tip. Master the power of pause. In every interaction, whether it's a conversation or a text exchange, allow a natural pause to settle in. That moment of silence isn't awkward, it's powerful. It gives both of you time to think and builds anticipation. For example, if you're on a call and she asks you something, don't rush to answer. Take a breath, let the question hang in the air for a moment, and then respond. That pause shows that you're thoughtful and measured. It also creates a space where curiosity can grow. She might start wondering what you're thinking, and that builds desire. This pause is not about being cold, it's about being deliberate. It shows that you're not rushing through the conversation. You value each word in every moment. And when you master this, you find that your interactions become more meaningful and much more magnetic. Let's bring everything together. The Seduction Blueprint isn't about tricks or mind games. It's about understanding your own value and setting a pace in your interactions that reflects that. By managing your availability, developing your own life, and controlling the pace of your communication, you create an irresistible aura that makes her eager to know more about you. Picture this. You walk into a room, and instead of feeling invisible, you feel powerful. Every conversation you have is filled with a calm confidence that makes people lean in, listen, and remember you. That is the power of the 3 rules. And the best part? You can start today. All it takes is one small change, a slight pause, a shift in your schedule, or even a new hobby. I want you to remember this. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. But if you dare to try something new, you open the door to a life filled with promise and magnetism. It's a choice you have to make right now in this very moment. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, commit to the Seduction Blueprint. Manage your availability. Cultivate your own life. And control the pace of your communication. Watch how these changes transform your relationships and how you see yourself. Every day is a new chance to build your irresistible aura. Every moment you choose to live fully and deliberately makes you more attractive, more confident, and more magnetic. Remember, the fear of missing out on these secrets is real, and the cost of inaction is even greater. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found these insights valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment below on which rule you're going to apply first and how it makes you feel. I'm excited to hear your stories and see the change in your life. The Seduction Blueprint is not just a guide, it's a roadmap to becoming the man you were meant to be. Your journey starts now. Embrace it and let your true magnetism shine.